Friends, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's not difficult for you, but it's nice for me, and we're starting. Terry could barely contain her glee. It took months of intrigue and maneuvering. She plotted, connived, and conspired. She distorted the facts and pushed the boundaries of her honesty as far as possible. There were arguments. Some of them escalated into serious fights, but with each of them she felt a tiny piece of his determination evaporate. Sometimes she saw the anger in his eyes, sometimes it was pain, but she was ready for it. She knew it was necessary for the next chapter in their marriage. Everything would work out for the best in the end, and they would both be happier. She was sure of it. She did what millions of other wives had done before her and manipulated him, using the virtues of her body as a weapon. She refused to make love to him or any carnal pleasures for a long period of time and agreed only in the face of a small concession on his part. She was wearing him out. She could see it in his face. It was an uphill struggle with calculated risks along the way. It wasn't easy, but finally she was there, sitting across from her future lover, arranging a romantic dinner for two. The atmosphere was intimate, the restaurant was cozy. Oh, how she was waiting for this moment. The night would be magical, and she owed it all an article I read in a women's magazine. For many years, she felt that something was missing in her marriage. It wasn't that she didn't love her husband or that he didn't love her. They both loved each other very much. He was kind and attentive, always putting her first, even in the bedroom. But this article started her up before she stopped it. Yes, that was exactly what she needed. But who and how? How could she get her loving husband to agree to something so contrary to his own personality? The one who came to her like a flash of lightning when Carter became a new employee where she worked. He was tall, at least 6 feet 2 inches, with broad shoulders and a full head of black hair like Elvis. He was younger than her by at least 7 or 8 years, and she could tell as soon as she saw him watching her that he was interested. When they had lunch together for the first time, she discovered that he was cocky, perfect for what she wanted. She trusted him and included him as an accomplice in her insidious plan. This caused a glint in his eyes and a tightness in his groin. Now about how? It would take time. She would have to be careful. She didn't want to risk what she had. After all, she loved him. She became an insatiable reader on the subject. She read books, articles, blogs, and short stories. When she felt ready, she began to implement her devilish trick. She initiated her plan by leaving him an article, but when he didn't bother to read it, she cautiously brought it to his attention, saying that one of her colleagues had used this method to revive her marriage. When she suggested that it would be fun to try himself, he hit the tabletop, telling her that he would never agree to such a ridiculous idea, and if she persisted in her quest, it would lead to the end of their marriage. But that was a few months ago, and she reveled in her mind. She tamed his, and now she's going to see her plan through. So he's going to be watching us? Carter asked. I doubt it, at least at first. He'll probably go to the spare bedroom, but he'll be able to hear us. So make sure you speak loudly, it'll add to his humiliation, she said, so proud of herself. Should I call him the cuckold and the cuckold? Oh, of course, she replied with a chuckle. And you're sure he won't run amok? No, he's not very happy, but he won't throw any punches or anything like that. I know him. Did you lock him in one of them? What do you call them? A chastity device? No, not yet, but this is the next item on the agenda. She couldn't help but chuckle at the thought of being able to control his finishes. It's a real power she's been mulling over. I can't believe it. When you told me what you were going to do, I never thought you'd get away with it, but I have to give you credit. You handled it. She was basking in the praises of her future lover. After all, there was nothing she didn't tell herself. Carter felt himself harden at the very thought of taking another man's wife. It was the greatest shame for any husband. What he said when you left. I mean, he knows I'm coming home with you. He knows that I'm going to use his woman in his bed. Did he cry or beg you not to come tonight? It was actually a little weird, she said, thinking about his question for a moment. He didn't do either. He just sat on the edge of the bed and watched me get dressed and put on makeup. He really looked terribly offended when I took off my wedding rings and strung them on the little gold necklace he gave me for our anniversary. See, she said, holding it up so that her young lover could take a good look. I told him that they were just a symbol of my new freedom and that I would put them back on my finger when you left in the morning. He definitely sulked after that, she continued. He waited until I was almost ready, and then he disappeared. I was looking for him when I went out, but I have no idea where he went. He didn't even say goodbye or kiss me before he left. I'm sure he's angry, but he'll get over it. First of all, I haven't allowed him to touch me for the last 3 weeks, but I told him that if he's a good boy tonight, when you and I stop, he can take me anytime for the next 2 nights. It'll cheer him up. All this talk turns me on like hell. Are you ready to go? The impetuous young man asked. They paid the bill, and he followed her home. Terry was surprised to find that the lights were off in the house. Maybe he's already gone to bed, she thought. Carter was right behind her when they entered. Here, Cookie, 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 where are you? Come here to watch me take your wife away from you. Shoo, give the poor guy a break, okay? She said, playfully hitting his arm. Why don't you make yourself comfortable on the couch for a minute while I find him? He has an office in the basement. He's probably there. She opened the door, but the lights were off there too. Honey, are you down here? She shouted just in case. There was no response. Is he down there? Carter asked, wanting to stick his husband's nose in his horns. No, he must be in the guest room. He was probably still moping and went to bed early. I hope he's not in the master bedroom. If he's in there, he's in big trouble, she said, climbing the stairs. Terry looked into the guest room, but it looked untouched. Damn him, she thought, turning around and storming into the master bedroom. But he wasn't there either. Well, what the hell? She asked herself. It never occurred to her to look for his car in the garage. He wouldn't dare leave. He knew damn well that she wanted him to stay here overnight. Just out of curiosity, she looked into his closet and gasped when she found that all his clothes were gone. Oh my God, she screamed. Just at that moment, something caught her attention. He left it on the dresser, his wedding ring. There were some papers under the ring. At the top of the first page was the headline, Divorce, in bold. Terry's heart seemed about to burst with pain. Tears were streaming down her face. What have I done? She said. Oh my God, what have I done? Now she knew what he had meant over the past few months when he said, "In oh."